So you've decided to come back. You felt the call whisper through the fog, and you couldn't ignore it. Only the place you've arrived at isn't the same fog-choked American town etched into your nightmares. This time, the road leads to 1960s Japan, where a young woman named Hinako will find her home gradually being consumed by an unnatural mist, sickening biomass and flora, and stalked by grotesque monsters. But is this really happening? Is it the otherworldly force that is Silent Hill, or is she under psychological assault? Aren't 1 and 2 the same? Silent Hill has always been a place where repressed traumas claw their way to the surface, where guilt takes shape and hunts you down. But the biggest thing is how people deal with those internal issues and what they do with it. This new chapter revisits that idea, but more so than that, it reinvents it, blending the classic psychological horror with the eerie elegance of Japanese folklore. Tonight, we're going to walk through this story together. Remember, this is a story explained, not a lore video. There's a difference. With me, you're getting answers and a newcomer's journey. TRYPOPHOBIA warning, by the way. I have a big and unreasonable fear of a bunch of holes on surfaces, and I did not expect to see that in this game. I just want to warn you of that. Also, of course, mature and sensitive content ahead. It's Silent Hill. However, if you enjoy story deep dives or psychological analyses, hitting that like button encourages me to keep making more for you. And since you're still here, well, it's too late. You're coming with me. Welcome to
Silent Hill F.
As a child, Hinako never really fit into the roles others imposed on her. The other girls would whisper about her and recoil simply because she dared to play with the boys, pushing her further into solitude. Girls in her town would shun her, yet Hinako wasn't completely alone, because she had her older sister, who was her constant guardian, a protective presence in a world that seemed determined to cast her out. Junko was the best sister that one could hope for. Except, now, she was leaving to get married. However, even when the village kids weren't making her life a nightmare, the oppressive, suffocating, and fractured environment within her family walls was enough to twist it further anyway.
This Junko knows how to show some respect! Why the hell can't you be more like her? Where do you think you're going? We're not done here, young lady!
Darling, please. You've already made your point.
Then why isn't she listening to me? If you hadn't spoiled her so much, she wouldn't act like such a brat all the time!
Hinako, don't go. Your father's just worried.
I'm gonna go see my friends.
Come home soon!
Hinako's father was a belligerent and violent drunk who would scream, bang, and throw things around to put the women in his life in place, to make sure that they respected him. But Hinako was rebellious and didn't want anybody dictating anything for her. And now, she decided that she was going to hang out with her friends. But before beginning her walk into town, she finds a news article from 1945 talking about how, in her town, an onsen geyser suddenly erupted, releasing pungent hydrogen sulfide gas that left residents sick and unsettled. The report even described people hospitalized with sores, and the water itself was laced with dangerous levels of arsenic. I wonder if what happened back then is still silently affecting this town today. By the way, this game has lots of exposition and hints through notes and items that we find, so expect me to go over a lot of those as I discover them. You did click on a Silent Hill video, you should know what you're getting into. Lots of story told through world-building collectibles. Like this magazine that Hinako reads talking about how a woman is only ever complete when she's loved by a man. By the way, let's get this out of the way. What does the F in Silent Hill F mean? I asked you guys in a post, some of you even commented that it stood for female or feminism, and while I didn't find the devs officially stating that that is exactly what it stood for, I did watch a bit of their Gamescom interview where they talked about the setting and time period in which the game takes place, during a time where women suffered from pressures to be a subservient wife or daughter.
Hinako in this game has to fight female oppression.
Hinako combats those imposed values, and along the way, She faces her repressed internal issues that the external world forced on her. Ultimately, as is normal with these games, everything is left up to interpretation, so the F in Silent Hill, that's for you to decide. Running along, Hinako finds a shrine. Her whole town believes and respects one called Oinara-sama, a fox god. Using modern technology to find out what foxes represent in Japanese folklore, I learned that kitsune symbolize a few things ranging from a shape-shifting trickster, a messenger for the gods. They can either be benevolent or malevolent, have supernatural wisdom and power, growing more powerful with age and tails. They can have up to 9. They can also represent love, seduction, and danger, with many tales of foxes taking the forms of beautiful women to seduce men. So, foxes bring prosperity or destruction depending on how they appear. Speaking of the town, its name is Ebisaguoka. Sorry for butchering the name, but apparently it was a bustling town before World War II, thriving in coal mining and construction business. But now, it's just a dying town. And yet, the name Ebisaguoka has a few possible interpretations I thought was worth looking into. Warrior's Hill, Lookout Hill, or Hill of the god Ebisu, the Japanese god of luck and fishermen. One thing's for certain, there's a hill. Finding another article shortly after, we learn that the elderly population of the town believes that the town's been cursed by a god. In their eyes, that is what's causing so many supernatural disasters, but maybe they are onto something. Because when Hinako makes it into town, she begins seeing signs that something isn't all right. As she walks forward, curious as to why the road is blocked, her foot sinks into the mangled, bloodied remains of a dead bird. Its body, forced into the dirt, its freedom to fly and live brutally cut short. As she continues through the town, she overhears a couple whisper about a curse and a girl who died in an unsettling way. Then, a scoff, as they allude to a specific unnamed family. Before long, Hinako does end up finding one of her friends, though their connection feels strained and uncertain.
You traitor!
Sakuko.
Where are you off to? Don't usually see you around here.
A truck was blocking the road.
Chizuruya?
I just want to talk to someone.
I'll be there in a bit, okay?
See you.
You traitor.
Reading about Sakuko, all we know so far is that Hinako sees her as aloof and that her family runs the shrine in town. Sakuko herself is quite passionate when it comes to her ties with the shrine. Turning the corner, she would spot Shu, her best friend since childhood. They grew up always playing together, specifically a game called Star Wars, and they'd become accustomed to calling each other partner. She continues that despite many kids in her time looking down on girls, Shu never did. He was always there for her and treated her as an equal.
Hey, partner.
Shu. Say something.
What about you? Nothing you want to say?
Well, if you don't have anything, neither do I.
Well, that's my Hinako. It's not like you to just let stuff happen, though. But whatever you end up choosing, you know I'll always be there for you.
Shu. Shu, thanks for waiting. And Hinako, too. Rinko, what were you guys talking about? Nothing, really.
She said that she just wanted to talk to someone.
It helped, too. Oh, glad to be of service, ma'am. If I had known you'd be here, I would have brought that magazine you lent me.
Oh, you can hold on to it. I knew I wasn't getting it back when I lent it to you.
What's that supposed to mean? What do you think you're laughing at? You've got something of hers too, don't you? Right?
Wait, did I borrow something? Hey, Hinako. Do I get to hold on to the 500 yen I owe you too?
What happened to paying her back with interest?
I never said that. You can't prove I did.
Okay, that does it. If I lend you something, you're signing a contract to give it back.
Don't be such a meanie.
Did you listen to the show last night?
Yeah, but I fell asleep.
Sakuko, when will you grow up?
Hinako?
Sorry. What?
You trip.
While running from the tall figure in the mist, I wondered a few things. What was in the box that Shu gave her? What's going on for them to be so speechless at the start there? And that girl who came in and was like, "Oh, Hinako, you're here?" I don't like her. I can tell she's digging on Shu and is jealous of Hinako off rip, but I don't know, the vibes with her are just off. And I don't like Sakuko either because she seems two-faced. I love my wife, by the way. But also Sakuko. The way that the flowers and the holes just consumed her. Again, that sight made my skin crawl. Running into a dead end, with the fog monster on her heels, she hears her sister's voice telling her to not give up. A ladder slams down, offering her a means of escape. Clawing her way onto the rusty roof, as bloody tendrils slither trying to grab her, Hinako would jump back down into the street. For now, it's safe. But she's injured, revealing that the box Shu gave her was actually drugs, painkillers for her headaches. These red capsules relieve her pain and make her feel better. This is definitely the way to deal with issues. Just take drugs. Unsure where she is, and driven only by the need to get back to Sakuko, she feels her way through a maze of cold fog and narrow corridors, yet she isn't alone. Shadows flit just beyond her vision, too quiet and too quick to catch, until something steps out from around the corner. I plan to do another video soon analyzing some of the monsters in this game, also diving into what I think they represent. But that nightmare we just saw was called a Kashimashi. It seemed like a doll, stitched of mangled flesh. But unable to fight the horror, Hinako slips away trying to find her way out of the maze. Ducking into a small room and following the sound of a radio for some reason, she can hear her father's voice, screaming and slamming things, raging about how a woman is worthless if she can't cook. Tired of that noise, Hinako would rather face the doll monsters, so she heads back out. Finding a doctor's note, she reads about how in many cases, someone psychologically suffering might not even need drugs. Heading into a house and noticing the clock stuck on 2:15 and the calendar on the 10th of some month, I wonder if there's any importance here. Hinako heads upstairs to the bedroom, finding a woman's face resembling the Kashimashi we just saw, cut off and on the floor. Its flesh was still worming around, and when she steps back out, we find the woman the face belonged to. I know it's a bit tough to see, but her face is missing, yet she still finds her way to contort and chase Hinako around with a kitchen knife. Being chased out of the house, she braves the maze once more, wandering aimlessly until she hears her friend's voice. However, when she looks up the stairs, a Kashimashi is waiting for her. At first, Hinako backs up, But then her foot bumps into a steel pipe and she hears her friend's cries for help, so she picks up the weapon and proceeds to lay down some pipe. Never being one to back down from a fight, it almost comes naturally, and after piping her up, Hinako is able to fight her way back to Sakuko. It's just, she's already been taken by whatever this stuff is, so all she can do is bury her friend. The monsters around her don't let her grieve for too long though, as they begin to swarm her, but needing an outlet for her rage, she beats them all off.
Do not push yourself. Take a moment to rest if you need to.
She comes to in total darkness, a man's voice echoing around her and urging her to take her time and steady herself. It's clear now that she has crossed over into this Silent Hill's version of Otherworld. In front of her is a puzzle, something that Hinako hates. Fortunately, it doesn't demand much thought and a trail of lights draw her to an exit. But just as she nears the door, the same mental schism that hurled her into this place tears at her again. Shrill screeches batter her ear. Her vision convulses, drowning in violent red and purple. If she doesn't get out quickly, the psychological assault will overwhelm and end her. Banging on the door, she desperately wants out, but the man on the other side is taking forever to open it despite her hysteria. Screaming at him to open and tackling the door with all her might, it opens just in time and she falls right into his arms. A man with royal aura, wearing a fox mask and trying to put extra charisma in his voice as he talks to Hinako.
Good morning. That must have been some nightmare.
Nightmare?
Are you injured? You must not be so reckless. You should take better care of yourself.
Thanks.
Shall we get going, Hinako? What's wrong? This way.
Why does he say morning when they're in a dark void? It's at this part in the game where I begin to wonder about Hinako. Is she a reliable narrator? Is what she sees actually happening or just a twisted version of reality? And if this is the case, what is causing her to have this perspective? She hurries after him through the darkness, but the fox-masked figure doesn't wait. He slips behind a locked door, leaving Hinako to circle around and solve yet another puzzle. As she searches the area, she even comes across the doll from her childhood. I'm over here fucking struggling to read a damn script. That is when the stillness fractures. The heavy thud of footsteps and the clatter of chains reverberate through the void. Learning that this monster is blind, of course, but can hear, Hinako decides it's better to just kill it than to try sneaking around. I also wonder what this monster represents. What do you guys think? After opening the door, the fox shows up again, happy that Hinako accepted his gift, but that's when the red mist begins to seep in out of nowhere. On the floor, however, we see the doll, and next to it a warning to not trust the fox mask. Who's leaving this doll and these messages around? With her mind colliding with whatever this red force is, she struggles to find her way forward, but also happens upon a letter. A girl is writing to her parents apologizing for being a horrible daughter, and that she's now getting what she deserves. I have a feeling that this is Hinako, but also not Hinako, or maybe it's just a random girl. What is interesting is that when Hinako puts Fox's gift, the Jade Key, into the Inari statue, the attack stops and it's silent again. The door opens and the fox mask graciously offers for them to take a break. I don't know why he didn't help at all, but he's leading us somewhere and he seems friendly, so I guess we have no choice.
Now then, onward. Hinako. Are you okay? Talk to me! Oh, thank goodness. Well, you never have been one to go down without a fight.
You're alive.
So, where's Sakuko? What is happening? Not a soul left in town. Some kind of terrible dream?
There are monsters around every corner. It's one nightmare after another.
Still though, I got lucky. Even if no one else is left in this world, it's good to know you're still around.
Wait, what about Rinko?
She just said she needed to talk to me about something.
Rinko was supposed to be with you. How do we know if she's all right?
Sorry. I guess I was confused. We all got split up and ran off. I haven't seen Rinko since.
But where would she even go at a time like this?
Maybe she went home. Let's go find her, partner. What's wrong? Keep up, or I'll leave you behind.
Seriously, how come everybody just keeps pulling a Batman and disappearing like that? As she presses onward through the eerie fog in search of Ringo, Hinako stumbles across another doctor's note. It talks about how the town's elders stubbornly cling to traditional herbs, rejecting modern medicine. The doctor argues that a blend of both approaches is best, and he even recalls being approached by the Iwai family, Shu's lineage, who have served as the town's physicians for generations. They urged him to speak with the elders and educate them about contemporary treatments. However, advancing, Hinako walks by a creepy scarecrow, before starting to wonder where Shu was, even though he was right in front of her.
What is it, partner?
Everything that's happening to us. Do you think it could be some dream we're having? Because we just want to keep playing Space Wars together?
Well, we could pinch each other to find out.
No. I can pinch myself, thank you very much.
Sorry. Seems it's not a dream after all.
I found it kind of weird that she was adamantly against him pinching her. You know, for being best friends, I don't know, you would think that she'd have no qualms about cheek pinches, but maybe I'm just looking too far into it. You know what, never mind. If a girl doesn't want to be touched, then there's no need to think beyond it. All of the doctor's notes that Hinako's been finding makes her want to see if the doctor's home. When she knocks on the front door and gets no response, she decides to break into his house by climbing a ladder on the side and begins looking around. But one of the first things we see is the body of a Kashimashi, bloodied on the floor, legs wide open but dead and unmoving. A sight that makes Hinako's blood boil, but no sense in sticking around for it. In a box downstairs, she would find that the doctor had been collecting eyes for some reason. To be honest, I never figured out why or what this means. If you know, please let me know. Opening another drawer, Hinako would find another note by the doctor once again, bringing up Shu's family. The Iwai physicians were described as almost legendary in the town, with knowledge passed down through generations that gave them immense trust from the community. But the doctor also hinted that their methods might involve controlled substances, drugs or chemicals that are restricted by law because of their potential for abuse or harm. He admitted to looking the other way, saying that bending the rules between traditional and modern medicine had long been the role of the doctors here. The note also mentioned doburoku. This is cloudy rice wine. Once brewed freely in Japan, it later became illegal without government approval, mostly to regulate alcohol production and taxation. Think moonshine in North America. The doctor implied that, much like doburoku, the Iwai family's treatments operated in a gray zone, officially restricted yet deeply rooted in tradition. Okay, so the game is placing a heavy emphasis on medicine. It makes me think twice about those red pills Shu gave Hinako earlier. But what is also strange is this autopsy report that we find, talking about how multiple bodies were found, killed in inhumanly, almost supernatural ways. Their heads were seemingly opened from the inside out and filled with insect eggs, particularly locusts, grasshoppers, and crickets. The doctor says that there's no evidence to suggest that any humans put them in there, that the insects naturally place themselves in their heads. The local police, however, didn't want to look at any of the bodies, just dispose of them. But what do these victims all have in common? They talked mad shit to the Inari, the fox god. Remembering that they need to find Rinko, she leaves, but the notes she continues to find, it's relentless. And this one is heart-sinking. A wife writes home to her family, lamenting about how she no longer recognizes the husband that she was initially charmed by. Nowadays, he just gets drunk and violent. He's cruel, day after day, and for how long this goes on, Hinako doesn't know. But this wife has kids. She's pregnant with another. Still, her husband gets into a rage-fueled stupor and beats his wife and kids. She says, and I quote, "Life is too hard to keep living, but I'm forbidden to die." Still, despite having lived a life where she was a good woman and a good wife, where she followed orders, this one time, this first and last act, where she will decide to be selfish and make this decision for herself, she begs for forgiveness anyway. Dreading the agonizing pain and misery her future holds, she decides to take her life away. A terrible reality, but Hinako continues. She continues until she finds Sakuko's family shrine. In Hinako's journal, she recalls that there was a divine 1,000-year-old tree here that was worshipped. It was until it was hit by lightning and burned down. As a consequence, it would lose its divinity, and with that, the shrine would become abandoned. But Sakuko would want to bring this shrine back to life one day. Finding a key to Sakuko's mailbox and a letter from her mother telling her to not talk about how she hears otherworldly things, her mother's greatest fear was that Sakuko would be an outcast, and by proxy, her family would be too. After reading that, Hinako would spend a lot of time trying to find Sakuko's mailbox, but couldn't. I wonder what was in the mailbox. I'll probably never know. Continuing to look for Rinko, Hinako would find herself face to face with a beast of a monster. After defeating the bellowing monster, Hinako escapes through a storehouse and jumps out a window to find Shu. He is relieved that she's okay, telling her about a promise that he made to her older sister Junko, that he would look after Hinako. Funny, considering he hasn't been doing any of the fighting, and he has a habit of just going on ahead without Hinako. They make their way to the rice fields and for a moment slip back into the memories of their childhood games there. Shu teases Hinako about how she would wander off and end up in tears because she would get lost. Hinako replies quietly that it's been a long time since she's cried at all. To this, Shu tells her to not keep her feelings bottled up. It's not healthy. Acknowledging that the fog has suddenly gotten thick, they remember that Rinko might be lost, so they push forward, except now, Hinako is lost again. Surrounded by scarecrows, also named the Ayakakashi, she needs to find the one that will point her in the right direction. If she doesn't pick the right one, she's going to be attacked. However, the notes that she constantly finds and unravels feel as if though the other kids are bullying her. But after a long while of fighting and finding the right Ayakakashi, I wonder why they get bent like that. These are supposed to be high school kids, they're in high school uniforms. Hinako blinks and suddenly she isn't lost anymore.
Hey! Hinako!
Wait. What just happened?
Come on! Hurry! Hinako!
Is she here?
We'll find out. Rinko! It's me! Shu! If you're here, say something!
Shu! You came for me. Oh, Hinako. Glad you're safe too.
Are you hurt? Your family?
I'm not hurt, but they disappeared. Everyone's gone. Even my grandmother. And she can barely walk. I don't understand. Where did they go? What's with the monsters everywhere? What in the world is going on?
It's not safe for us to stay here. We've got to get out of town.
Out of town? What about our parents? Everyone?
We can go get help. But we need to do something, and do it fast.
We're not abandoning them. But we can only help them if we keep ourselves alive.
But we're trapped here. There's no way out.
What do you mean there's no way out?
Go take a look out the window. You can see the bridge from here.
No way.
The bridge. Now what do we do?
Well, we can't use the bridge. But we can still take the highway.
Past the mountain. Behind your house.
You really think we can make it?
I know a shortcut. Through the wasabi fields. Rinko, we should bring some medicine and bandages with us.
There's a first aid kit in the kitchen. I'll go get it.
Hey. I'll help you look for it.
Not a bad idea, partner.
Where's the kitchen again?
Couple things. Is it just me, or can't they just swim across the bridge if it's destroyed? Although, the way in which it was destroyed, bottoms up, would make me wonder if there was something in the water. But also, if you have some sixth sense warning you about Rinko, why isn't your reaction time faster? She stood on the stairs for a good minute and waited to get pushed. She wakes once more in that twisted otherworld. The air is thick and the darkness feels alive, like it's watching. Ahead of her is the fox-masked man. Of course, he just walks on and doesn't wait for Hinako to catch up, but she follows. Moving through the dim corridors, something jerks and smacks her to the floor. A warped mannequin, its torso twisted, its legs replaced by blades that scrape and clatter on the floor as it lurches towards her. She fights it off, and when the creature crumples, Hinako finds a new weapon, a naginata. Gripping it tightly, she pushes on through the nightmare realm. But then she hears Sakuko's voice calling her name. But wait, wasn't Sakuko dead? Lying in the candy store? Pushing forward through a library, she finds more notes. One about a handmaiden who worked for a cursed family. Another one in broken words talking about gushing blood, wombs, and Hinako's family? But one in particular stood out to her. Research notes about a love spell, where a sorcerer would cast a romantic spell to fulfill one's romantic wishes. A lot of things are happening right now that don't make sense, but Hinako just needs to find Sakuko and Fox Mask for now. However, soon she would be met with a new foe, the Oi Omoi. The constant cries of children are enough to give painkillers a headache. But after escaping that pounding distress, she pushes through heavy doors to find Sakuko. Somehow, Sakuko ended up here, but transformed into this corrupted monk who insists that Hinako left her alone, that she's a traitor. I begin to wonder if Hinako actually did anything, but is she as innocent as she might seem? If she isn't innocent, what did she do? It doesn't matter to Sakuko though, as the two fight it out, but remember the developer said this isn't a Souls-like, and that he's tired of it being called one, which I agree with. Everyone calls just about anything a Souls-like nowadays.
How foolish of an evil spirit to enter this place.
What was that?
An impurity that haunts you no more. Rest assured, you are safe now. To live in this world is to walk amidst impurities, but we can ward them off. Come. Sacred ground lies before us. Before we enter, we must be cleansed. We shall do so here. You as well.
Okay.
Hey! Wake up!
You klutz. You fell down the stairs.
Your arm. What happened?
Oh, must have cut my sleeve somewhere.
You don't look bruised or anything. Does it hurt at all?
No, I'm fine.
That's good to hear.
What's wrong?
Let's go. There's no time to waste.
All right. Come on.
Well, you're going to protect me, right? I'm not tough like Hinako, you know?
Yeah, don't worry. Stay close to me. All right. Let's head to my place. Back road, then mountain, then highway. I'll take the front. Partner, take the back.
Got it.
I'll stay behind you, Shu. It's safest in the middle.
Leave the back to me.
I feel like Rinko tore her arm sleeve off, but why didn't Hinako start throwing hands or calling Rinko out on her BS? No trouble confronting monsters, but shows restraint with a girl who pushed her down the stairs. Of course, the two go on ahead. You would think that staying together is best since the town is overrun by monsters, but I guess not waiting for Hinako to catch up works too. When she does catch up with them, Shu checks in with her to make sure that she's okay. Ringo, of course, doesn't like this, wondering how long they're going to keep role-playing. Shu ignores the question, saying that he's never treated her differently just because she's a girl. They're just bros and have a strong connection, leaving Rinko feeling left out. But she would still try to slip a jab in at Hinako, asking her if anybody's ever told her that she sounds manly, which I think is crazy that Hinako is just letting her continue to press her like that, but I guess they have bigger things to worry about right now.
We'll go around. Maybe we can find a safer route there.
They're all over Chizuruya. Why is this?
Let's head for the middle school. We can take the mountain path from there. It's gonna take us a while, but we can avoid town. All right then. Let's move.
While the others decide to run, Hinako decides to kill. After getting an achievement, she proceeds to try to catch up with the others. Along the way, she's jumped by this glowing monster who aggressively tries to pounce on her, but luckily she's too fast for him and she fends him off. Reading the journal entry for it, Hinako describes it as having greedy eyes, greasy palms, and that it has a disgusting way of trying to be friendly with her. It's repulsive, but only with girls. Fighting another monster inside of a house, this one has multiple heads attached to one body. It spews acidic red all over, its tendrils seeking up and trying to inflict harm on anybody it gets close to. I think this represents a father who possesses his family in a dark way, but what do you guys think? Closer to the school, finding Rinko and Shu, they're talking about Hinako. But something that Rinko says is unhinged. She tells Shu that he needs to get over Hinako. She shouts that she's dead and in another world. But that doesn't make any sense because we're right here. However, no one acknowledges anything and the group just hikes up to their old middle school. They need to get past this gate that's like 5 feet tall, but it's locked. And instead of just hopping the fence like we did back in my day, they decide to look for the key inside of the school. And by they, I mean just Hinako. She's the one who's gonna do all the puzzles and looking around and stuff.
I can't. I need to take a break.
You must be exhausted too, huh? You can take a rest. I'll go see if I can find the key.
No problem.
What? I want you by my side, Shu. I need you here. Please, stay with me. Please.
You don't really need me to.
You should rest up too. I'll go find the key.
You really should. You were at the front leading us the whole time. Hinako just tagged along behind us, so she's just fine.
What do you mean she just tagged along?
Don't worry about it. You two stay here and rest. I'll be back.
As she wanders around her old school, she would find origami foxes. You see, the kids at her school would often write nasty things about people that they didn't like, and they would leave them folded up as origami foxes in the hopes that other kids would find them. They either wanted rumors to spread, or for the target to find out what was being said about them. Needless to say, Rinko was one of the kids who would do this, and Hinako would even recall how she was always writing about people. You know what they say, if a person is comfortable talking smack with you, they're probably also comfortable talking smack about you too. This is why I keep it simple, and I have the same 3 friends that I've had since high school, and my wife. Finding an unopened love letter from Rinko to Shu, she gave him a puzzle box and clues within her letter to help him open it, but I think he's like me and hates puzzles because there's all of these unopened envelopes in envelopes? I think it's pronounced envelopes inside, telling Shu to just get over Hinako because she's dead, which again is confusing. I don't know, is it just me that's confused over this? What are you guys thinking? Hinako is just about ready to go out, but then Junko's voice sends her into a frenzy. Only able to see her silhouette, she tells her little sister that her friends aren't really her friends and that she should just get rid of them. Forgetting how to open a door, by the time that Hinako makes it out of the classroom, her sister is gone. With her mysterious disappearance, Hinako finds the gate key and returns to her friends, but
Hey, since it's just the 2 of us, let's play our own version of Space Force. If you want, I could be your partner. Or may face some kind of femme fatale.
Got it. Found the key.
Welcome back. Sorry for the trouble. Your turn, partner. We've rested enough.
Sit down. Shu and I can stay up and keep watch over you.
No, I'm all right.
Hinako, get some rest. We'll stand guard while you're sleeping.
Nighty-night, Hinako.
In turn, I shall save your soul by claiming the life of your own self.
Do not push yourself. You need rest. The purifying water was perhaps too strong for you. You are far more delicate than I had realized. But you did well to make it this far, Hinako. Now, onward we go.
I guess it's being knocked out or falling asleep that sends her into the other world. But Foxmask goes on ahead to prepare something. This dude hasn't told Hinako anything, she's just been following him. But reading about him in the journal, she talked about true happiness, how she knows when she's holding his hand, when she doesn't have to think, when she just obeys and does what he says, that is when she's happy. But that doesn't sound like the Hinako that we know. It's polarizing. To see and know her one way, then to read her words like this where she's an entirely different being. Of course, coming up to this giant door, it's locked. We have to do more puzzles, but this time her friends are going to be more intimately involved. First, we have to deal with Sakuko. From her bedroom, we head out into the maze, and after fighting more demons, we find Sakuko's diary, where she recounts how lonely and humiliating it was to always be last whenever they ran laps in PE. But she didn't feel so badly when Rinko agreed to hang back and be last with her. However, when Sakuko asked Hinako to hang back, she flat out said no, causing Sakuko to pray for her downfall, for her to fall and break all of her bones in her body. The thing is, Hinako was Sakuko's first and only friend for a while. She was afraid of losing her, but Hinako promised that they'd be together forever. Except, she would erratically begin to entertain the possibility that Hinako was lying and might betray her. On the other hand, Hinako, despite being her friend, would also start to be creeped out by her, finally finding Sakuko herself alive and relatively well. She's elated that Hinako came for her, as she's caged, alone, and scared.
What are you doing? No! I don't want to be alone! Hinako! Hinako, help me! Help me! Don't leave me! I don't want to be alone! Wait! Please don't go! We promised to stick together! You traitor!
One detail that I really like in this game is that whenever one of these events happens, if you look at Hinako's journal, you can see that their character entries changed. So Sakuko's entry changed. At least the drawing that she had of her, not the words. So I guess all of these entries are going to transform. Finding Rinko hanging in a cage over a magma pit, she coldly comments about how nice Hinako looks. That's not going to save her. When we step into Rinko's room, we're met with her collection of Hina dolls. Now, there's going to be some pretty cool subtext here that I'm going to go over. These ornate figures reflect the narrow beauty standards placed on women in 1960s Japan. Now, by contrast, Hinako's doll, the one that we see at the very beginning of the game, and the same one that later leaves messages all around different places, looks distinctly Western with its blonde hair. Its appearance sets it apart from the rest, kind of like how Hinako herself is set apart from the rest. She doesn't quite fit the mold, but she's happy with that. Rinko resents that difference. She sees Hinako as prettier, and that she has it all. To make things worse, the boy that Rinko is pining for clearly favors Hinako, deepening her bitterness. In that sense, we the players can start to understand that Rinko's feelings towards Hinako are growing from a place of jealousy and envy rather than just pure, unreasonable hatred. Regardless, Rinko is consumed by this wrath for Hinako.
Must be good to be you, Hinako. You've got it all.
It is when I find one of her letters to Hinako that Rinko begins to make even more sense to me. At first, Rinko writes as if she's being caring, saying, "Here, you'll feel better after eating this." But then she flips the script, talking about how she's such a kind person, saying, "I'm so kind, I'm such a kind person." Yeah, it doesn't read like that for Hinako. It reads like Rinko is trying to convince herself of her own goodness. The second letter only drives that home. She tells Hinako that being by her side makes her realize what an amazing person that she is. Rinko's so-called kindness becomes a mirror where every act towards Hinako only reflects back on herself. But then it gets even darker, because Rinko would call Hinako and Sakuko pitiful creatures. She compares herself to a teacher, a parent, even a pet owner. In her mind, her friend's suffering exists to elevate herself, to make her feel superior. Obviously, narcissism. Rinko's words drip with self-proclaimed superiority, self-congratulation, and fragile pride, all disguised as friendship. We all know people like this, right? That combination that need to be adored, the obsession with their own kindness, and the contempt that's hidden just beneath it. It is exactly what makes Rinko's relationship with Hinako so poisonous. I don't want to psychoanalyze Rinko. I just couldn't help but connect the dots. So, now it's time for Rinko to die.
Just for once. Think about how he feels. You're a traitor. You played with his heart. Say you're sorry! Get on your knees and beg for forgiveness! Can't you hear me? Why don't you say something?
Wait, what did she mean that Hinako played with his heart? Shu's heart? What does she mean, traitor? And is that, whatever that is, another reason that Rinko despises Hinako? Looking at her picture in the journal, we see that she was consumed by the fires of agonizing hate. Heading into the last door, we hear Shu, his voice strained.
Hey, partner. I guess this is the last time I get to call you that. Huh?
In this room, we see 6 pedestals, each with an item of significance to Shu. They represent his memories, his connection with Hinako, or is it the other way around? But there's one thing missing, to which he coughs out that that's what it means to forget. There is also a photo that he drew of her. Look, they look exactly alike. Shu says that he needs to know what her final decision is. What decision? And how does this relate to what Rinko said about being a traitor and playing with his heart? Trying to reclaim what was lost, Hinako presses deeper into the hall. She opens a door and instead of answers, she finds horror. Waiting for her is something inhuman, a bloated parody of life. Its body is buried under swollen, pulsing mounds of flesh, bellies, each one writhing with the promise of more horrors ready to burst free. Long black hair drapes over parts of its body, a reminder of the woman it once was. However, its face has collapsed into a gaping cavity where features should be. What was once human has been consumed, overtaken by disease and obsession, transformed into a vile factory of living decay. This is the future Hinako fears. Her destiny was given flesh, a mockery of love, a mockery of care. Endless giving into the body becomes a prison of rot, a repulsive breeding machine. Defeating it, finding a comic, we return it to Shu.
You came back, partner. I wanted. It's alright. Whatever the outcome, I'll respect my partner's choice.
It must be hard for you to bid farewell to childhood friends.
Yes. No. It had to be done. As soon as I could. I'm so very sorry for what you just saw.
You need not apologize. I should be begging your pardon for forcing this pain upon you. Onward.
Rinko?
I guess she hung him, but waking up back in what may or may not be the real world, Hinako doesn't see her friends around. Picking up her sledgehammer, she gets up to find them. Also, looking at Shu's journal picture now, it looks dark and there's a lot of blood around his neck. There is also another entry where Hinako describes feeling like there's two versions of herself existing inside of her. One is the real Hinako, the one that's always been, and the other is a new Hinako, a stranger, a woman trying to steal her body and erase who she once was. It's a portrait of inner conflict, two minds fighting for control of a single body. Psychologically, this reflects the fragmentation of identity, the old self clinging to familiarity while a new self, shaped by trauma, change, or external pressures, threatens to overwrite it. Hinako is struggling in this war with herself and with the world.
How come? Shu. The plan's to meet up. At your place, right? There's just too many.
I guess, whatever that fog monster is, it's got a giant claw too. Heading up to play catch up, I would have one of the best jump scares ever.
Why would someone put this here?
The way my body tensed up. I smashed all the buttons on my controller. I paused, attacked, and tried to heal all at the same time. Yeah, that was a good one. Finding a research paper about a medicinal herb titled the Flower of the God. Apparently it allows people to do supernatural things like talk to gods and even walk among them, even entering their worlds. I tell you, if someone says to me that, hey, there's a plant that you can ingest that lets you see gods, I won't believe them. I won't. I gotta try it for myself, you know? I gotta try the product myself to see if there's evidence to substantiate any claims. Otherwise, I'm not gonna believe them. Moving along, we still need to get to Shu's house and find our friends, but along the way, Hinako actually discovers that sacred tree Sakuko's shrine housed. Apparently, there's a sword here. Finally making it to Shu's, we hang out by a lake, only place I think I've seen in this game that has white flowers. I don't know if that means anything, but we read a note about Hinako, how she was having severe headaches as a result from having to deal with her father. Trying to help out, Shu would give her pain meds for her headaches, but then she would start asking for more of them and more often. Now, not wanting her to become reliant on the pills, Shu would begin giving her traditional remedies, but also become her therapist. That's what people who just want to be friends do. That's what friends do. They listen and empathize. In his eyes, he wanted to do that for her, to be that for her. With that, Hinako decides to wait inside of the house.
Shu!
The path ahead is one of great pain and suffering.
I know. But I'm not afraid.
Onward then. Here we perform 3 rituals.
Okay. see you here. But I feel that you are with me.
This Hinako contrasts heavily against who she is in the real world. As Eskie would say, they're same, but different. They look the same, whilst having different personas. But now, we're about to see this Hinako have her outward appearance changed, too.
I am right here, by your side.
I see.
have administered painkillers. Does it still hurt?
No. It just... my arm feels a bit tense. Let's do the next one.
If you wish to move on.
I do. I feel fine.
What makes this moment so awful is that Hinako is actively choosing to change herself for him, despite swearing that she never would. Despite the excruciating pain of sawing through her own flesh and blood, she is consciously following Fox Mask's path, replacing pieces of her body with what's forced into her. It kind of works as an allegory for marriage under rigid traditions where a woman surrenders her identity piece by piece until she becomes not herself, but a wife, a mother, no longer called by her name, just her title, no longer able to recognize the person that she once was, who she could have been. But hey, she's got a sick fox arm now. Pressing on, Hinako finds a note about a descendant from a family named the Tsunekis, referring specifically to a child that is waiting to make their move, whatever that means. But we haven't met any Tsunekis yet. Or have we?
Done well.
Yes.
The ritual is complete. You have done very well. The next ritual shall be the last.
Damn. Iron seared into her skin with chunks of her flesh coming off. Straight branded. Basically tortured. And he says there's still more? Did he have to go through all of this? But gameplay wise, this is pretty cool because now she has this beast mode that makes her fox arm bigger and she can slaughter her enemies that much easier. But remember, this isn't a Souls-like, this is Silent Hill. Finding a letter in one of Fox Mask's room, a woman writes to him about how he seems to know her inside and out, despite them not having seen each other in years. She wonders if her feelings are real or if she's being manipulated by him, but then she ends it by saying she doesn't even recognize who she is anymore. Pushing on, she fights a giant drum monster. After defeating it, Hinako writes about it in her journal. How it bellows louder than anyone around it to drown out their sounds. How it swings its drum-like arms to strike fear into others. After which, she pushes through these doors to perform the third part of their ritual.
You have endured incredible agony. That was brave of you, Hinako.
Oh, I can't. It hurts. It hurts. It hurts. It hurts.
Look into my eyes.
It hurts. It hurts. It hurts.
Hinako, look at me. Look into my eyes. There. No more pain or suffering to be had. Calm yourself.
That's right. No more pain or suffering to be had. I will calm myself.
Very good. That's my Hinako.
Yes. Thank you very much.
So, let's go.
Yes. Let's go. Finally. I have been reborn.
That is actually wild. Cutting out her face, replacing it with a fox mask, basically making a statement about a woman's identity being forfeited to be absorbed into her new husband's identity. And then, when she starts freaking out, he tells her to calm down, which I think is a reference to how women in real life often go through pains, either psychological or physical, while their husbands tell them to just stop and calm down, ignoring what their woman's underlying issues really are and commanding them to be quiet about it. Reading up on Hinako's updated thoughts about herself, she talks about how by giving up her individuality and autonomy, by letting him make all the decisions, she will now have true happiness. And that now, this is how she defines happiness. Walking down the aisle, the two are now ready to become one. But
such a happy, perfect day. So happy.
Rinko?
Because today, Hinako will die and be gone for life!
Rinko! I'll die. I'll be gone for good. Just like you want me to. I swear. So forget all about me. Just live and be happy!
I won't forget you! I will scour every last trace of your name from my memory and the world! I want you gone!
My name is... Shimizu Hinako!
The wedding celebration quickly goes up in flames as Rinko erupts. Her voice, a torrent of venom. Every word drips with years of envy and bitterness, twisted into accusations that cut deeper than any of her lacerating whip slashes. She lashes out at Hinako, screaming about betrayal, about stolen affection, about the humiliation of being cast aside. Her hatred fills the halls, scorching the air as much as the fire and magma that devours the walls. This rage, this unhealthy obsession unraveling, jealousy given monstrous form. Rinko spews her scorn with the conviction of someone who has convinced herself that she is the victim, even as she becomes the very embodiment of toxic cruelty. It is in this inferno that the ceremony of unity is consumed, replaced by a spectacle of destruction. Two girls who might have called each other friends now stand against each other as blatant enemies, but chained together by resentment and fire.
I never wanted to see you like this, Rinko. But I'm very happy that in the end, we finally got to tell each other how we truly feel. The name Shimizu Hinako means nothing to you. I hope you find peace, Rinko.
What's wrong? You are Hinako, of course!
Am I?
You are Hinako!
Yes. I am Shimizu Hinako. Or not. I am Hinako.
Exactly. You are my Hinako.
Hinako?
Mom?
Please come home. Dinner's ready for you.
Hinako, time is running out. How much longer will you stay here?
Junko?
It's nice to see you, Hinako.
Something doesn't feel right. like your usual self.
I feel the same. The Hinako I know is still just a little girl. As you are now, you're the one who seems like someone else. The fact that you're alive means you've made it here, yet you're still lost all the same.
Lost?
I've already told you countless times. This will be the last time I repeat myself. You must decide your future. It doesn't matter what anyone else says. The decision is yours, and yours alone. But please, remember this one thing. You can't think about it forever. You're running out of time to choose. And if you were anyone else, your time would have run out long ago.
Junko! Rinko!
Recalling that she still hasn't found her friends, she heads down the mountain but encounters monsters. This enrages Hinako though, as she readies her crowbar to beat down the pregnant spawn monster. God, just looking at this monster. To become a breeding machine. I don't even know what to say.
Because you choose to be. I'm moving forward.
Finding a letter at a fox shrine from a strict and controlling mother, she tells her son to choose who he plays with wisely because he is royalty. He is of nobility. Once Hinako gets back into town, she finds the entire place has been infected with Scarlet Rot. The whole town is witnessing true horror. Except this playground. A memory flashes where a child Hinako helped a boy out who was attacked by a fox. He says his name is Kotoyuki, and Hinako tells him her name. But strangely enough, Hinako doesn't even remember this memory. Walking over to the slide and finding another letter from Kotoyuki, he says that he's moving, leaving town, but that he would never forget Hinako. Advancing on, she would then find a radio playing something strange.
They were unconscious when found, and no signs of breathing. This is Kanasho Rescue Teammate. Copy that. Kanasho HQ, out. Approximately 10 bodies on the ground. We'll check their conditions and report. Over.
It sounds like there was a massacre. However, finding another note from who at this point I am sure is Kotoyuki's mom, she says that because he's a noble, he needs to learn to grow up and act like the prince he is, stating that one day his father will require his help. Help with what though? Moving on to find a research paper, the note describes a rare medicine that is said to let people speak with their inner selves. But this note goes further beyond, suggesting everybody has not just one inner self, but layers, multiple inner selves. There's an inner you, inside of which is another inner you, and so on and so forth, endlessly repeating. The name Kakura Makakura even comes from an old Nagasaki dialect word for nesting, like the Russian dolls that are stacked inside of each other. I think those are called matryoshkas. Real quick, I feel like I have to mention it, just like 20 seconds. In psychology, this idea of hidden layers of the self reminds me of Sigmund Freud's concept of the unconscious. Say whatever you want about Sigmund Freud, whether you like it or not, he set the groundwork for a lot of modern psychology today, but let's not focus on that. Freud argued that beneath our conscious thoughts lies a deeper structure of hidden desires, fears, and drives that influence our behaviors without us even realizing it. The game's description of peeling back inner selves also harkens back to someone else that I've mentioned numerous times in a few of my psychoanalysis videos, Carl Jung, who expanded on Freud's theories by describing the psyche as made up of layers like The persona, the mask that we show the world, the shadow, the hidden selves that we deny, and the self, the deeper totality that we strive to integrate. Not a psychology video, back to the story. Discovering her house has been infected with the Scarlet Rot. She enters to see that abso-freaking-lutely nothing looks as it should be. It does not look like her home, so she goes exploring to figure out what's going on. Finding a note from herself, she says that she is still alive and that she will kill her, even if it is her special day. I think that means wedding day? I'm not sure. In her parents' room, she finds out that her father had been drowning in debt, but somehow was able to pay it out one day, in full. Where did he get the money to pay for his debts? Later, finding a calendar dated October 6, 1962, on the bottom right, looking that up, it reads Butsumetsu, which means Buddha's death, and it is considered the most unlucky day for important events, like weddings. But it makes me wonder its relevance because throughout the game on calendars, we see that all of them are stuck on the 10th, and the clocks that we see all over town have been stuck on 2:15, so I wonder what they're hinting at. I don't ever find out the answer to this, so if you know, let me know. Walking into a room, Hinako sees shades of a memory where her father smacked her mother because she didn't make soup the way that he liked.
Idiot! How many times do I have to tell you?
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
Did you even taste this? It has no flavor. You're making me drink mud. You can't even do something simple like this? What kind of a worthless woman can't make miso soup?
Stop it! You do this all the time! Cut it out!
Shut up! Don't you dare talk to your father that way! Stay out of this!
Why do you tolerate this, Mom? Why don't you stand up for yourself? And you, Dad, if you don't like her soup, make your own! You're good at cooking, aren't you? Hinako, stop! Please don't talk back to your father. I made a mistake. You just focus on getting to school. You didn't do anything wrong. Dad's the one who's in the wrong here. Hinako, do not talk like that about your father. Get to school, now!
I hated my father. But I didn't really like my mother either.
Her mother enabled her father to be vicious, and as a result, Hinako hated her because of how pitiful she was. Picking up the calendar on the table, the page shows Thursday, May 26, 1960, marked as Shako, which means red mouth, mostly an unlucky day except for midday. A rather demented note was found in Hinako's diary. She talks about her hate for her parents, but then takes it even further, wishing death upon them. Even deeper than that, though, she wishes that she could turn into a monster and crush them both to death with her bare hands. A lot to unpack there, but that is another video. Finding another letter. It sounds like a guy talking to whom I think is Hinako, just a guess. Context is a big part though. But it's him saying that her name means baby bird. In Hinako's journal entry, there are birds in her picture. There's also a lot of undertone references to birds and being free in this game. There's the concept of being a caged bird when married. Hinako's back was burned. It could be my own personal interpretation, but that could mean a bird getting its wings cut, clipped, or burned off. I don't know. But there was that achievement we got when we plucked I say we got like we all played the game together. I mean, basically we all play this game together. When you're watching one of my videos, you're basically playing the game with me. But we got that achievement talking about plucked feathers when Hinako initially got married. But I ended up Googling what Hinako means in Japanese. However, it didn't say that her name means baby bird, rather something close to child of sunflower. So again, I don't know if that letter is for Hinako, because I don't know if baby bird is the translation for her name. Speaking of child of sunflower, flowers are another obvious thing strewn throughout the game, and women, especially young ones, I believe are referred to as blooming flowers. Again, just my own simple takes, but if you are an expert or know differently, please share with the class. However, Another thing that I might actually need your help with is this hall of dolls that lead into a room with more dolls, and this one has a giant broken one in the back. These thousands of figurines are called Kokeshi dolls. In Japanese culture, they are sometimes associated with children, innocents, or even memorials for the dead. But there is a far more darker theory, because some believe that these Kokeshi dolls may have been fetish substitutes for unwanted babies killed after birth. I don't know if it's specifically and only after birth. It might include babies who aren't technically born into the world, but I don't know. The very name Kokeshi breaks down into child and to erase. Now hold on, let's reverse it a bit and talk about the word fetish. In this sense, it's not sexual. Instead, fetish refers to an object believed to be carrying power, often spiritual or symbolic. While historians point out that there's no real evidence to support the infanticide theory, it's telling that the first time that this idea appeared in writing was in 1965, right in the time frame Silent Hill F is set. That timing ties the dolls directly to the cultural anxieties of the era, so when you see them piled endlessly in the game, they don't just look like discarded toys, you know there's a deeper meaning. They feel like markers of erased lives, each one a wooden reminder of children who were never allowed to grow, whether it was because of familial trauma or because they were aborted, whether it was the mother's decision or the father's. If my theory holds, then this room Hinako walked into, with the massive Kokeshi looming over her, its single eye staring out in anguish, its body split open to reveal rotting flesh, is nothing short of stomach twisting.
Enough already!
What?
Hinako, your father, he... Stop sugarcoating it! I know, okay? It's because of your debt, isn't it?
What? You little...
You were tricked by some fool! He took all your money and it's your fault! Mom's had to cut expenses. People were laughing at Junko because she had to wear old clothes! That money was for our family! It was to bring us just a little bit of happiness! So cut the crap and apologize! To me, to Junko, to Mother! Apologize for all the trouble you've caused us!
How dare you speak to me like that?
Please don't! Please, I beg you! Hinako, I'm sorry, but could you go to the grocery for me? But I don't care what you buy, just go now!
Let me go! I've had enough of this! Who the hell does she think she's talking to?
Please, calm down, dear. Relax.
Women get treated no differently than animals.
Reading her journal, Hinako would reveal that while she initially thought it was just her dad who was very easily emotionally triggered, violent, and useless, after hearing that countless married women suffered the same fate, she realized that it was all men in her town who were tyrants. But I guess it didn't matter, because she ends it by saying her father sold her to pay back his debts. Now we know how he got the money. He married his daughter off.
You can see me, right? Huh. Now you can even hear my voice. Don't just stand there. Come in. I have something I want to talk to you about. Tell me, who are you? I think it's weird too. To not have a grasp of yourself. To not understand your own feelings. What do you mean? What are you talking about? I think you're me, but I'm not you. That's my guess. But who are you? I am Hinako. But who does that make you? I'm also Hinako. Although, I might not have Shimizu Hinako's heart and mind anymore. You're not making any sense at all! What the hell are you talking about? Stop playing dumb with me! Why are you acting like this? Like you don't know what's going on? Hey, look at me, look at me! Use your head and think! Think about it. I could have killed you off at any time, but I didn't! Any idea why? Because I'm serious. Shimizu Hinako, I wanted to talk to you! We have to fight, you and I. A fight to the death as equals. But all you do is run away! Running and running! You're not even trying to take any of this seriously! If you are going to keep running like this, then fine. I'm going to kill you once and for all. Oh, and it's not going to end with you. I'm going to kill Mom and Dad, too. In this house, this whole town's going with them. Rinko and Sakuko are next. And of course, your precious partner as well. Where is he? Where is Shu? Hey, is Shu really that special? He still just treats you as his pal to play Space Wars with, right? Oh, he doesn't even see you as a woman. He's just some guy you grew up with. His death won't matter one bit. You're wrong. He's my friend. He's special. My one and only partner. I won't let you kill him!
That sounded a lot like the Hinako from the note we found, where she talks about hating everything. And what does she mean by Hinako keeps running away? When did she ever try to kill her? Entering the next room, Hinako was met with a scene of pure horror. Her friends murdered and grimly displayed. Rinko, body charred and blackened, burned to a crisp. Shu, lifeless and pale, his skin turned to a cold ashen gray. And Sakuko, her body carved with countless lacerations, fresh blood still dripping from the wounds. Each death is grotesquely personal, as if chosen to expose their deepest sufferings, but then she hears laughing in the room over, as if there's a party going on.
It's Hinako, she's back! About time! We've been waiting for you!
Hinako! You are late! Finally! We're about to get started here! What did you say?
Doing, Kanta! You're the best!
Okay then. Ladies and gentlemen, prepare to witness a master with a blade! Dare disrespect me!
Each grips a long knife, her father with his right hand, her mother with her left, mirroring one another in sickening symmetry. Together, they become whole in the worst possible way. A pair, bound by shared cruelty. The father strikes, but the mother makes space for his violence. She validates it, excuses it, enables it, him. This fight actually showcases the concept pretty well. Her dad does heavy damage, but her mom is the one who moves quicker and closes distances, gets in the way, makes it rather difficult for Hinako to kill her father. Side by side, they complete each other through a partnership built on control and punishment, unleashing the fullest measure of their toxicity onto their daughter. But she is still able to be better than her parents. She kills her father without killing her mother, and as her father hobbles away wounded, her mother helps him still.
Drink this. It will ease your pain. Your body is still acclimating, but you're doing well so far.
It's only a matter of time.
I will not allow that to happen. You've got some of your color back. It's beginning to take effect. A filtered mixture of the rice and water offered to ancestral spirits. It contains a divine power.
much.
Be careful. Ah, yes. Please, take this. It serves as proof that you are mine. Now, I have one more thing to show you, if you'll follow me.
Okay.
Who was that monster? It seemingly crushed Hinako's parents with their bare hands. But what has Fox Mask been giving Hinako? It reminds me of that doctor's note, the one that talked about the Doboroku, but this one is apparently filtered. Attempting once again to follow and catch up to him, Hinako ends up having to gather more things and solve more puzzles, but one room that she goes into is full of cages, balls, and chains. A room for animals. A room for women. Onward, we discover another note from that Handmaiden. We learn of a young woman named Sachi. She was born into a family of poor farmers, yet her beauty caught the eye of the young heir of the Tsuneki family, which, by now, I am convinced is the same family that Kotoyuki, the boy from the playground, belongs to. The two carried on in secret. Before long, Sachi was with child. Initially, they promised each other escape, a new life far from the rigid walls of tradition, but when an arranged marriage to a noblewoman was announced, everything changed. The heir cast her aside without hesitation, not wanting a scandal to ruin his prospects. Sachi was driven out, discarded and sent to some far-off place where her existence could be forgotten, even though she was carrying his blood inside of her. Story says that she wept so bitterly that blood ran down from her eyes, and yet, beyond these fragments, the truth dissolves into shadow, because we don't know who this heir truly was. We don't know what became of Sachi or where she was sent, but it's also hard not to wonder, could she have been cast off to the very town that Hinako grew up in? How does this relate to Hinako's story? And why do we keep finding these particular notes in Otherworld, in the Fox Mask's rooms? Another one of her notes talks about how the Tsuneki's wealth was made from the sufferings of the less fortunate. You see, whenever tragedy strikes, the Tsunekis are always there to make a profit. But it's this next letter that reinforces my belief that Kotoyuki is a Tsuneki. The strict mother writes to her boy saying his real last name is Tsuneki, and that he is next in line for the throne. But that anybody who hears his name will immediately know whose child he is. Now, at this point in the game, I am suspecting that Fox Mask is Kotoyuki. We keep finding these notes here. He acts like royalty. This grand place looks expensive, and he's been going through the process of marrying Hinako too. Top off with everything we've gone through so far, it just adds up. I also think that he might have cast a love spell on Hinako. But the thing is, Hinako isn't royalty. She's not noble-blooded. So his family might not be on board, but the heart wants what it wants, and this would also kind of make sense when thinking about Hinako's friends. I mean, think about it. Hinako and Shu were in love, or maybe they might have been in love. Maybe Shu more than Hinako, but at some point, Hinako chose Kotoyuki. Hence, Shu always telling Hinako, whatever decision you make, he's gonna respect it. The decision being to marry Kotoyuki. However, when she did choose to forget and let go of her friends, still not sure if she actually kills them or just leaves town to forget about them, Shu would hang himself, unable to cope. That is why we keep seeing him hanging. That's why Rinko seethes whenever she sees Hinako, because in her eyes, Hinako effectively kills Shu, the boy she loves. Rinko says Hinako played with his heart. But didn't Hinako love Shu back? Possibly. Good question. But just like the other Hinako said, he never, quote-unquote, saw her as a woman. He never treated her as more than just friends. But I mean, come on. His dad never taught him this? Listen, guys, you have to put the Mac down. let a lady know your intentions, respectfully. Emphasis on respectfully. Otherwise, a girl is gonna think you're not interested and move on. But then I remembered, Hinako's father married her off to pay his debts off. This would actually make sense then. The Tsunekis are crazy rich Asians, so it wouldn't be a thing for them, and Kotoyuki, promising to never forget Hinako, would definitely come back for his old flame. But did he charm her organically or with magic? Who knows? Finding another letter, a mandate of the clan, it explains that it is the duty of the head of the Tsuneki family to choose and deliver a maiden of sacrifice every 8 years to appease the gods. Assuming my current running theories are correct, looks like Kotoyuki is up. But is Hinako the sacrifice?
Junko-san.
お取り込み中ごめんなさい。ひなことほんの少しだけ話がしたいのだけれど、よろしいかしら。
では。
お姉ちゃん。
殺せた？しっかりと。
うん。
しっかりね。
しっかりって。
今日だけはお姉ちゃんとあなたの2人だけの秘密にしてあげる。でも今日を超えてまだ生き残っていることがあるのなら、お姉ちゃんが彼のためにもあなたを殺すからね。
もう少し外していた方がいいかな。
いいえ。お時間をありがとうございます。それではこれにて。
姉妹で語り合えたかね。
はい。
それでは行こうか。
One thing that I haven't really talked about yet is Junko. Initially, she was loving, and one of the only good things in Hinako's life, but she fell to societal standards that all women in her time and place had. Now, after being married and losing herself, she seems rather angry, right? And she was also talking to Hinako about killing it. I believe the it in question is the Hinako in the real world who refuses to conform, the real Hinako. This shows that Junko is now trying to get her sister to conform to societal standards. I think the mask Junko has on her face is telling. The mask resembles a bird, but it's not a graceful bird. It's predatory. It looks threatening. Bird masks in Japanese symbolism and even in Western, think about plague doctor imagery, are often tied to death, disease, and the suppression of individuality. And then the expression on the mask, the exaggerated eyes, the smile, at least to me it seems like a forced expression hiding the pain underneath, symbolizing how women like Junko were expected to perform submission while being devoured inside. But there's more. Take a look at her cracked, corpse-like, decayed skin. Junko's skin looks stitched and scarred, like the other women, but a little bit different. She was terribly reshaped to meet impossible expectations, and now she wants that for her little sister because that is just the way things are. I digress. Following Kotoyuki to another room, they exchange rings and a door opens. Blinded by the light, Hinako wakes up back in her blood-bathed world. Crawling to her parents' sandals, she begins to sob. Soon, her sorrow turns to sour rage as she hears a monster approaching.
Took everything. You took everything. Everything from me!
Picking up her axe, crazy like Johnny, wrath incarnate, a frenzied Hinako goes on a murder spree. killing everything that took everything from her. Her friends, her family, her home, her identity, everything she was, is, and could have been, ripped from her. And now, she wants it back. She wants her happiness back. In her blood-fueled rage, one could begin to imagine that the world she sees, the crimson red mist floating around, is a result of her bashing everything in sight. But then she would see it. The fog monster. The thing that crushed her parents. The thing that's been chasing her around. The thing that has been trying to kill her. Deeper in town, she would find a missing persons poster for her. But now I'm confused, because I remember Rinko kept telling Shu that Hinako was dead. But is she dead or missing? This missing person poster really threw me off here. However, something really cool happens next. Remember when I got that key for Sakuko's mailbox but couldn't find where it was at the start of the game? Well, 11 hours later, I ended up finding it, right here. It just kinda happened, naturally. Funny that. Opening it, we find a letter from a psychiatrist informing Sakuko's parents that she has autism and that everything they're concerned about is natural and fine. That instead of worrying, they should just be patient and supportive of their child. What? That just makes too much sense. What do you mean a parent should be loving, caring, and understanding of their children? Soon we would come face to face with a monster that has no face.
I suspected this would happen. What you are doing is incredibly rude. But then, you should already know that by now. Kill her! Kill her! Do it! This is for your own good. Now die.
That monster with the fox arm looks alien to me. But back in the other world, Kotoyuki and Hinako are preparing to complete their marriage. However, something weird happens. Soon, Hinako would get covered in flora, and when she rises, she's that alien fog monster. In the real world, we see real Hinako disappearing as Junko tells alien Hinako to say her farewells. So, she transforms back into Fox Hinako and starts heading towards her house. But along the way, Hinako's dolls, which I'm sure is the real Hinako, or rather the child Hinako, attempts to deter her from leaving at all. Of course, this doesn't stop Hinako, and she goes home to see her parents waiting for her.
Hinako, our beautiful girl. Come on, dear, look at her.
isn't your home anymore. Even if you come back alone, I won't expect to be let inside.
Alright, so here's a question. As her dad hung his head low, ashamed and unable to meet his daughter's eyes, he said, even if you come back alone. What did he mean, alone? Because who did she leave with? I genuinely don't have an answer to this, so if one of you guys do, please help a brother out. Fading to black, going back to the other world again, Hinako, not the fox arm one, wakes up confused about where she is, with the doll, child Hinako, telling her to help Hinako. Again, these different versions of Hinako can get confusing, but so far I believe there's only three. At least three that I'm aware of. There's Hinako as a kid, the celluloid doll, Fox Hinako, also the alien fog monster who conforms to societal standards and gets married to Kotoyuki, and what I think, or what I call, the real Hinako, who we've spent quite a bit of time with in the real world, who's defiant and wants to make her own decisions. Rushing through the dark blue as fox fires hang in the air, Hinako notes about how it feels like she's walking through her own head. She was alive, hobbling and injured, but still undying. Even Junko would be surprised to see her there. But when she asks Hinako what she's doing here, Hinako realizes that she doesn't know where she is, and apparently her mind isn't a place that she wants to be.
I don't like it here. It feels bad. I want to go home.
What is that? How long have you been taking this? Is it really okay for me to take that much?
Yes, I'm fine. These things help me calm down.
Stop that right now! You shouldn't take those anymore!
Leave me alone. This is what caused it all.
So I guess she's been crashing out due to Shu's pills? Is it his fault? Well, he was just trying to help, and he did end up trying to get her off of those pills, but the thing is, he wasn't licensed to prescribe any meds. It doesn't matter anymore. With the other Hinako back, the two would fight. I learned that the monster's name is a Shiromuku, which is a traditional Japanese bridal kimono meaning white innocence. On her head is called a wataboshi, which is basically a veil. During this fight, Hinako dies a few times, but funnily enough, she refuses to actually die. Her health shoots back up, and she insists on not leaving this world. In fact, on her third life, she starts getting insane health regen. Of course, she ends up defeating that version of herself. But there is still no peace. She continues to spiral, still clawing at the walls of her own mind. With her limitless red pills, she bursts out of the dark shrine. But her world, her realities, keep shifting as if cracking under the weight of her torment. Unknown voices yell at her, astounded and asking her what she's doing as she stumbles through streets. Soon, Foxmask would be heard, saying that he would talk to her. He asks her why she's doing this. Kotoyuki was confused because he thought he showed her that he cared and loved her. But Hinako keeps running, her head pounding, mind tearing itself apart. All she had now were the thousands of pills filling the corridors of her mental, exacerbating her psychological erosion.
Unikawa 2 to HQ. We've got 2 male victims here. Same female suspect as in the wedding massacre on Route 8. One victim is currently in cardiac arrest.
Kagerocho 1 to HQ. We haven't found the knife used by the suspect at the scene. Chances are good that it's still in the suspect's possession. Better consider her armed. Over.
Attention all apartments. This is HQ. Female suspect is in her 20s and wearing a wedding dress. Height is a little over 160 centimeters. Last seen fleeing Tsuneyoshi Shrine. Believed to be armed and highly dangerous. Exercise extreme caution.
Come in, HQ. This is Kagerocho 1. It appears the suspect was observed consuming red and white capsules at the scene of the crime.
Kagerocho 1, this is HQ. Did the capsules match the ones discovered at the wedding venue? Over.
HQ, this is Kagerocho 1. Affirmative. Collected capsules that the suspect brought to you.
So, with that ending, it turns out Hinako was drugged all the way up, and during her wedding, she broke. And she started killing everyone. A murder spree. A wedding massacre. However, in the true ending, when Hinako gets to the Dark Shrine, she tells Junko that she realizes that she verbally acknowledges and speaks into existence that women are always dealing with external pressures. However, when the other Hinako shows up, they end up at each other's throats, signifying the internal struggles still present within Hinako. Except, there's more, because above them are gods. And then, a no longer blue-eyed Kotoyuki tries to save them. But the fox demon seizes control of him again, talking about how once in a blue moon, a girl blessed by the heavens with divine power is born. But here's the twist. That romance spell that we learned about in the notes, it's actually a spell that was not cast on Hinako. Instead, it was placed on Kotoyuki when Hinako was born. That's why he was straight fiending for Hinako. Still a better love story than Twilight. The Fox Demon, I looked it up, his name is Kyuubi, reminds me of Naruto. He scoffs at what a failure Kotoyuki is, but Hinako defends him, saying that he just wanted to get married and be happy. So she fights him. But the other Hinako also has a fight with the other god, Tsukumogami, who, if you zoom in on, you see the celluloid doll in his chest. Which I think kind of makes sense looking back. I mean, he has beef with Kyuubi, so of course he would try to foil his plans. Regardless, Hinako beats both gods, and as the place is about to come down, Kotoyuki brings them to safety and acknowledges that he should have respected Hinako and let her make more decisions for herself. But he also wants to know if he actually loves her, or if he's under a spell. However, saying goodbye to him for now, both Hinakos go back to the real world and enjoy having silence and freedom. Freedom to choose to fall in love and get married. Freedom to live and choose to make bad decisions. Freedom to click the next video on the screen.